and a warm welcome to the program Improve Seeds on Nigeria's first agricultural television based in the city of Abuja. I am Hilda Homsem Tuantuam. The benefits of propagating an improved variety of soya bean is our focus today. Let's go on a short break. When we return, the program continues. Soya bean is a species of legume native to East Asia, widely grown for its edible bean, which has numerous uses. Soya beans farming encompasses all the processes involved in the growing of improved soya bean seeds. These processes include the land preparation, planting of certified improved seeds, application of fertilizers and pesticides, and the harvest of the soya beans grain. The best type of soil for soya bean farming in Nigeria is a well-drained loamy soil that isn't packed too tightly. If you are working with soil with high clay content, mix it with sand, mulch, or pet moss. Do not plant soya bean on sandy soil or waterlogged environment. Sow the soya bean seeds 1.5 inches, that is 3.8 centimeters deep into the soil, and space the beans about 3 inches, that is 7.6 centimeters apart. Plant the beans in rows that are about 30 inches, that is 76 centimeters apart. When planting the seeds, ensure the seeds face the ground and water it immediately after planting. In Nigeria, the best month for planting of soya beans is the month of June. It should be noted that soya beans are mostly grown in the northern part of Nigeria because of the savanna terrain. The months of May and July can also be the best months to plant soya beans in Nigeria because of the availability of good levels of rainwater. Mr. Peter Bauchi, a staff of ARCN Plant Resources, enlightened us on soya beans production, the improved seeds, pest control, best fertilizers. Let's hear him.
It's important for you to get training, whether as we are gathered like this or even from your phone. you can earn a lot more than we're going to tell you today. So very quickly, having welcomed you, I want to go straight into the very brief, I won't call it a training, it's just a sensitization. We have seeds of soya beans, and you know, they are very important globally. About 1.5 billion people depend on maize, as common as you are seeing it, one of the most grown crop all over the world. 1.5 billion people, also many things, yogurt, you know, and tofu, and so many things. Awara. Okay, so many things from soya beans. So in these times that we are in, if you don't see meat is coming to you. Plant it and harvest it. It can effectively provide protein for you. So we need to change our orientation. Alright, so and then we have agrochemicals. You know, let me stop here. You know, I belong to one alliance that is working, you know, all over Nigeria to check the proliferation. That is how they use chemicals anyhow. You see them in the market. Some chemicals are banned. Why? Because they are injurious to health. And if you don't use it according to specification, not only will you, the user, be affected, but you are affecting, listen, you are affecting anyone who eats the crops because you didn't follow the instruction. Number one, if they are banned, don't use it at all. If you must use it according to specification. Otherwise, you are affecting anybody who will use that crop. And it does not stop there. You are affecting your soil. Your soil will be infested. 10 years later, anybody that plants anything on that soil, he will still eat, you know, from the dangerous chemical, which, by the way, is carcinogenic. It means it causes cancer. How many of you know somebody who has gotten cancer recently? Let me see your hand. You know somebody who has cancer or has died of cancer? Please, let me see your hand. Okay, not very much. You know, quite a number. But you see, before we didn't used to hear of cancer, you know, but all these chemicals contribute, you know, as sources of carcinogenesis. They are sources of cancer. And we must be very, very careful and use them wisely. If possible, do without using them. But because of drudgery, to weed is not easy. Is that correct? Is that also? So we use these chemicals to help us. So use it wisely, according to the specification. So very quickly, you know, there are some challenges in planting them, which include, I've started mentioning them, the use of implements, mechanical like tractor we don't have. Those are the challenges of growing soya. You know, amongst many, we have the challenge of drought, heat flood, labor, and then market. Now, pre-plant before you plant. If anybody here is a farmer and you're not planning, farming now is business. It's not just for old people or aged parents or, you know, billionaires are farmers in America, and Nigeria must adopt it. You must be proud to tell somebody, introduce yourself as a farmer. Tell your neighbor, I'm a farmer. That's why I'm here. Yes, you must be proud. If you hide it, everybody will love it. If you are ashamed of your profession as a farmer, I'm telling you, you'll be seated, you'll be shocked. I heard of a farmer who is a billionaire in America. He introduces himself in very corporate meetings as a farmer. You need to start it. And even your mindset will change. Okay, very quickly, we need to do soil testing. We don't have time for that, but we are planning so that research will come to our smallholder farmers. We also need quality seed selection. Everybody say quality seed selection. You know, there are two types of seed. There's the open pollinated seeds, the one that we are used to. When you plant anything, you take it and go and plant it the next year. We've been doing that since our grandparents. There's also the hybrid seeds. Hybrid seeds, you need to buy it every time. Do you know why you need to buy it? Because it increases your yield. You become an efficient farmer when every year you go and buy, well, you know, hybrid seeds. You know, seeds that have been technology or they've used genetics to improve its qualities. Qualities such as resistance to striga. Striga affects, so many of our crops. Resistance to some of these pests and diseases. Pests and diseases of maize, stem borer and the like. Fall armyworm, so many things. So we need to use improved seeds. That's why we brought seeds to us and it's going to be shared. So take it like gold, because I was in the farm one day to demonstrate to farmers in Kashin, in Kujerada, in Abuja, and then somebody selling commercial seed passed. And I said, bros, please give me your seed in a brand new Hilux, because I tell you, farmers, if you know what you are doing, before you know it, you blow. I said, how much is this seed? When he told me 25,000, some small seed I'm holding by my hand, I was shocked. I said, you knew how much it is? 25,000 seeds that are not, I can put everything in my hand. So they are high quality seeds that have been improved upon. So they are very important. And then planting techniques. When you plant too early or too late, planting, it significantly reduces your yield. Did you hear me? Let me repeat myself. If you plant your seeds too early or too late, it reduces your yield. So you'll be a smart farmer when you plant right on time, from mid-May to the second week of June. What time did I say? Mid-May to the second week of June. That is mid-June. Any time outside of this period, your yield will start dropping. So a smart farmer will hear instructions and start planning ahead. The first point I mentioned is you should plan. So plan ahead. In fact, you should plan for next year and the next 2-3 years of what you want to do. Technology is always improved. In fact, I recently, depending on the competition or how much nutrients you have, you can reduce the spacing of soya beans and get more yields. Depends on the variety too. For every variety is different. So sow soybean by hand, by planter or by drilling. Plant 3 to 4 seeds per hole at spacing of 75 cm between rows and 10 cm between stands. That's soya beans. 10 cm between stands. Okay, sometimes you can even plant on the flat surface and bring them closer. All right, so importantly, we want to talk about weed management. I'm rushing this, but you can contact us later if you have any challenge. Use cultural and also pre and post emergent herbicides. Cultural one is the hoe we use. Recently, I saw a robot that does weeding. Because technology has gone far now, AI and all that. You can put a robot and program it to do weeding for you while you go and relax. But before we get there, we are getting there. You can also apply these chemicals. In no distant time, we'll do away with these chemicals. Because at the end of the day, even your drugs that you take from the hospitals that have been done in the lab, you agree with me that they will be treating one thing and causing another wahala. Is that also? So natural is always better. That's why we are looking for cultural practice. Don't forget this cultural thing. Very important because it's natural. It's important to remove. So removing them early is very important. With us today, we have pre-emergent, agrochemicals like Striker is post-emergent. We have pre-emergent like panthalene. It's a pre-emergent herbicide that you apply 2 to 4 days after sowing. After you sow, immediately you sow, you can apply it, up to 3 or 4 days, so that it will deal with what we want to compete with the nutrients of your crop early enough. We also have post-emergent herbicides like Purimox for legumes. Some of them you can use. When you look at the details, you can see that there are more than one crop they apply to. But for our purpose, and then for soya beans, we have pre-emergence Pendimethalin, post-emergent, the Purimox. Okay? So these are very important to apply. So you apply pre-emergent 2 to 4 days after sowing. You must use these following rules. Listen attentively now. You must keep shaking the mixture, while you are applying, so that it goes uniformly. Otherwise, you won't see maximum effect. Number 2, you must apply safety precautions. It will not be good to be penny wise, pound foolish. That happens when you don't follow safety instructions. Number 1, you wear hand gloves, very important. You wear your nose mask so that you don't breathe in the chemicals because they are poisonous. If possible, wear a goggle and maybe a shoe, what do you call it, a rain boot or something to protect yourself. In the case of first aid, when you breathe in, you need to wash your face with soap quickly and seek medical advice. There are some first aid procedures that also are written here. Alright, so also very quickly, timing is very crucial. Don't go and start pouring chemical when in the heat of the sun. Do it early in the morning or maybe late in the evening. Okay, it's very important to get maximum benefit of these things. So these are some rules of thumb that you use to apply chemicals. For some of the chemicals like Purimox for soya beans, Purimox, that's the post-emergent. Post-emergent usually is when the crop is grown, it's selective. It attacks the grass and leaves your crops. So for Purimox, let me start with Purimox. It has, active ingredient, imazamox 4%. It is post-emergent, selective, 1 liter per hectare. You use 200 to 300 liters of water. Now our knapsack sprayer, most of us, they give these ones for those using very big sprayers. Knapsack sprayer is just 16 liters. Is that not so? And a hectare is 10,000 square meters. Am I correct? Okay. So when you break it down, depending on the size of your farm, okay, you use per hectare, you're supposed to use 200 to 300 liters of water. So for 10,000 hectares, if you break it down over 200, if I say 10,000 now, over 200, this is just a simple calculation. I have 100 square meters. Is that not so? On 10 by 10 is 100. Is that not so? 10 meters by 10 meters is 100 meters. So from there, I can, if 1 liter will cater for, are we listening? All of them here are 1 liter. If 1 liter is supposed to cover 1 hectare, listen attentively. You also see the instruction. Read them carefully. Read them and read them again, because when you employ somebody, see the danger. When you employ somebody, to come and do it for you, they just do anyhow, but let's do it. And then when he's putting it, he wants to see the grass dying. It's not like that. Some of them will take, like the post-emergent, they are systemic. They are post-emergent. Some will take 5 or 10 days because before you start seeing the effect. I was sharing with my brother that I belong to one alliance. I also told us, on hazardous chemicals and their effect on the body. I also told us earlier. Some of these ones you want to see, they are banned internationally, but they are finding their way through our borders into Nigeria. So you can imagine yourself going to buy debt for yourself. So follow instructions. So if 1 liter, which is, let's say, 200 liters of water, will make for 1 liter, this is a liter, and then you have 200 liters of water, okay, will cater for 1 hectare. Then if you divide it, okay, this is 200, Okay, it will be 50 square meters over 200 will give us 50 square meters. All right, that's for 1 hectare. So this would take care for your knapsack. How many liters are your knapsack here? 16 liters. Okay. Sorry? Some have 20. Okay, 20 liters. So if you are dividing 200 by 20, 200 liters now by 20, you have how many knapsacks? 10 knapsacks. Okay? 10 knapsacks for 1 liter is supposed to. So if you divide this into 10, it will go into 1 knapsack. And then when you put it, you need to be stirring it. Am I being understood? We all know this very well, but let's not be doing it wrong. I want to see quick results. You have problem at the end. At the end, those things, you either eat them or you send to somebody, and then gradually, before you know, one ailment or the other, depending on your immune system. So it's very, very important we note that. Now, I took time to look at all the chemicals, all the active ingredients, and I just did that very quickly because that's just the average for almost all of them. It's the average for almost all of them. But look at the instruction properly. For every crop is different. Like for this, we have one that is penthalene. He mentioned to me that penthalene is post-emergent. But you see, it is used for both the legumes and maize and other crops. But for this program, we are looking at it for pre-emergent. Sorry, post-emergent. No, penthalene is pre-emergent, sorry. But it covers many other, crops. Please, I wish we had a projector so that you see these things practically, but no problem. Now, very quickly, let me just read a few things I have here. Now, identify the specific herbicide suitable for your crops. We have done that for you, which is here for maize and just for soybeans, and the stage of growth. Common pre-emergent herbicides include atrazine, metolachlor, butachlor, and others. Common post-emergent herbicides include nitrosulfuron, mesulfuron. These are the active ingredients I'm calling. Now, look at this, soil facility. These are made very simple for us to follow. Now, let me tell us, that sometimes our fertilizer, we're not showing fertilizer, but it's also important, for what we're doing. Apply 2 Coca-Cola cap fields with NPK. 2 Coca-Cola cap fields in a drill 5 centimeters to 8 centimeters from the plant. From 1 day to 1 week of your maize, especially. For soybeans, it's the phosphorus that is really required for soybeans. But for your maize, apply it in a drill after weeding, first weeding, in the first week. Now, this is important, to increase your yield. We know most of these things and we've been practicing it because we are farmers. But you see, technology always evolves. Don't, after weeding, just drop it because you want to be fast. When rain comes, it will wash most of it away. And what have you done? You say, no, the farm will mix. You are wasting your fertilizer. Do a drill. Do you all know what a drill is? Do a small hole and apply just 2 cups of Coca-Cola. You are saving time, and will increase your yield because we are after your success and you benefiting properly.
Plant early and consider prescription, planting, and vulnerability varies placement by using seed treatments and inoculants. Use a preeminence herbicide. Manage the pests and diseases in the seeds before planting. As a general rule for term, I recommend farmers to purchase a good bag of seed and plant that entire bag per hectare, that is 1,400 seeds. The target for every good farmer is to get a minimum stand of 100 1,000 plants per hectare and adds to food security. To ignore or skip on good seed treatments because of to save money, you'll pay it down the road with reduced yield. I am Hilda Homsel Phantom, urging you to watch more of our programs. See you next time. Bye.